What is up, guys? We are back for another beautiful morning. Look at this beautiful morning here at the shoe market. And I did marinate the camera. I set it outside for the 10 to 15 minutes that all the camera doctors out there prescribed. And I think we are back in business with a defogged lens this morning. Now, I know you guys who clicked on this video, who've watched the channel before, you're going to be saying, what? What? You never tried the Mach X? Are you serious? That is preposterous. But no, I have not. There are a few shoes still out there. I've never run in a gel cumulus. I've never run in the Mach X. I haven't tried the Prime X Strung 2. By the way, that would be a great, if any of you other shoe tubers need an idea. I know some of you look to this channel for some inspiration. You can buy the Prime X Strung 2, just drop 300, and that would be an easy video idea for somebody out there. But never tried Hoka's speed training shoe. There are a lot of great plastic plated shoes on the market right now. Saucony pioneered this. I know some of you guys are going to say, Mizuno did it with the wave plates in 2005. In the modern implementation, Saucony pioneered this, and now we're seeing some bangers this year in this category. Hyperion Max, probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite, of this new batch to come out. Then we have the Mizuno Neo Vista, which is maybe the people's favorite right now. That's why I wanted to give it a little spotlight there. And then we also have a low-key shoe, the Propel, $120, low-key banger. It's the value play in this segment. And today, in the magic bag here, we're going to see how does the Mach X stack up? Because last week, we went on a tear, absolute tear, tearing open boxes and new shoes. So we're going to do a revisit to see, not a revisit for me, but a revisit for you guys, because I'm sure a lot of you have run out there. How does the Mach X stack up? We got the Mach X2 coming out later this year, but how does the OG one stack up to some of the current heat on the market? Let us get into it. All right, so before we open the magic bag here, and I'll explain why we have the bag in a second, I did want to talk about the Mach 6. So this is the Hoka Mach 6. The Mach 5 was one of my favorite training shoes last year. This is top of the list for me as well this year, except Hoka messed up the sizing a little bit on it. So I don't really love to run in it because in the 10.5, it is extremely uncomfortable. And I made the mistake of not just exchanging it, but I didn't want to saddle a local shoe store here in Charlotte with shoes that I'd run in and returning them. Anyway, this is a great shoe. The Mach series is their lightweight speed training series of shoes. So with the Mach X, which we have in the magic bag, they inserted the plastic plate similar to what we're seeing in the Hyperion Max 2 and the Mizuno Neo Vista, and they added some race foam up at the top to hopefully give us some pep. So the reason why we have the magic bag here is because when we were in the Poconos, boys trying to poke their nose into my business, I packed this magic bag full of all the shoes I wanted to do first run reviews for. I didn't look at the shoes. I closed my eyes, tore open the boxes like a true sicko, and then stuffed the shoes in the magic bag in their wrapping paper in here, so I didn't see any of the colorways. So we did the Clifton 9, we did the Vongo V6, and then the last shoe that I took up to the Poconos was the Mach X. I promise I'll try not to use that voice again. I have no promises whether or not it will come out, but I'll try not to. So let's see. We got the Vongo. The Mach X just didn't make it out because instead I decided to, this is the 860. I decided to spotlight some other shoes like the Ghost Max, which I wasn't planning on spotlighting, and the Craft Explorer, which nobody watched. But today we are gonna, there's the Vongo. Today we're gonna do the Mach X, and as I said, I have no idea what this looks like. See, look at this. Look at this. I put it in these bags. I just put it straight from the box in here with the wrapping paper. So let us open it up. Man, that coffee was kicking this morning. It was called Janja Hill. Janja Hill, I think it was from Rwanda. And ooh, we got another good colorway. Look at, man, my guy Zach, who manages the Hoka PR, coming through with the heater colorways. Bang. This is one of the best ones. Man, shout out Hoka. Blessing us, absolutely blessing us with some heat here. You got the clean white, and then you got that nice creamy polyether block amide, that creamy Piba up on top with the little pop of teal. What shoe did we have out here recently? That was teal. What shoe was that? Oh, the SC Pacer V2. Yeah, this is a little bit of a similar color scheme. A little bit more floaty and curvy. The SC Pacer is bang! V, sharp angle. There's no sharp angles on this. It's all curves. And that's the great thing about Hoka. Similar to New Balance, they are a very comfortable brand. And if you look at the shoe, it does not look too aggressive. It doesn't look necessarily like it's going to be a harsh ride, but the ironic thing is I have heard with the plastic plate, this is, and yeah, as I'm trying to flex this, so let me take out, oh wow, I thought there was a shoe insert. Yeah, as I'm trying to flex this, there is absolutely no flex at all. So one of the main differences in this shoe versus some of the modern shoes or just more recent shoes, let's clean up our workspace here. Sorry guys, this is absolutely disrespectful. Yeah, difference between this and the two shoes we have up here is you got the EVA, the more standard training foam on the bottom. Seems like it might give us a touch firmer ride. So the construction here is actually similar to the Boston 12, which I did not bring out, but that was one of my favorite, if not my favorite marathon training shoe. Probably goes in my top 5 running shoes of all time. Very similar to construction to this, where you have a firmer foam on the bottom and then the race foam on the top. I actually think you might get a little bit more of the race foam in the Boston 12, but what this dual foam setup is going to do, you guys have heard me rant and rave about dual foam. I haven't tried a bad dual foam shoe yet this year, but having these two foams here, the top one, the race foam, that's the excitement, that's the fun, that's what's going to give us the speed, the energy return. So as we put our foot down, it bounces back up, and then the foam on the bottom, that's the structure, the firmer foam, that's the structure, that's the support, that's what's going to ensure when our foot goes down, it's not compressing the foam all the way into the ground. The plastic plate in here is also going to provide that similar function where it's going to help the shoe retain that structure. It's going to help the shoe retain that curved geometry and hopefully stand up well to some longer miles and some faster running. One of the issues I've had with these training shoes that use the race foams, and specifically the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3, which is my first experience with this category of shoes, is it had the plastic plate, but because it also had that softer race foam in the Speed 3, it's called the Power Run PB over in those Saucony shoes, very soft and compressed a lot. Now I'm 6'2", 160 pounds, run with a little bit of a lower cadence, means I'm putting more force down into the shoes. Also a new variable we've been thinking about recently is foot size relative to body size. Now I'm a 10.5 at a 6'2", which is a little bit on the smaller side for my height. So all of those variables with my running style mean I'm putting down a lot of force given the amount of foam we have underfoot. So Speed 3 didn't quite stand up well to my running style. It was okay for shorter runs up to 4, 6, 8 miles. But as I got deeper into marathon training up to 16, 18 miles, I didn't love that shoe, and I prefer the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3 and Pro 4 for any serious pace work or longer runs. So shoes like this and the Boston 12 or even the Hyperion Max 2, which have come in here, these have worked a little bit better for me. Well, I don't know how the Mach X will work, but Hyperion Max 2 and Boston 12, because you get a little bit of firmer foams. Now, this was a really fun one. I thought I was touching a slug there, but for some reason the foam is just damp. Pull up with the damp foam. But the firmer foam in here with this aggressive rocker geometry, I mean, look at this thing. Look how curved that is. That creates this really fast platform where as soon as you land, whether that's heel, midfoot, or forefoot, this rocker up here tips you right along. And I could not run slow in this shoe. So we're going to have to do some more testing on the Hyperion Max 2. But so far, I think my favorite out of this new batch of fast training shoes to come out, at least of the plated ones. I really want to do a head-to-head with the Deviate Nitro 3, so stay tuned on that, and I need to get a long run in this, but overall, this shoe is awesome. It's $180, which is expensive, more expensive than any of the other shoes in the category, but the upper here is completely dialed in. It feels like an expensive, well-made shoe when you slip your foot in it, and although it doesn't have the polyether block amide, which a lot of people get up in arms about, the foam here is great, really supportive for bigger runners, not going to bottom out whatsoever. So that's what the Mach X is going up against in my mind. Hyperion Max 2 is now top of the category for people who, I think a lot of you guys out there like this channel because I can share a perspective from someone who's putting down a little bit more power into the shoe than an elite runner even might at their training paces if they're 100 or 120 pounds. And I find the Hyperion Max, the Boston 12, those types of shoes to really work well for my running style. Now, the other shoe that the Mach X is going to be going up against is the Mizuno Neo Vista. Now, this is one that a lot of you guys out there have liked. It's confusing for me because you look at it, and by the way, I'll do a head-to-head with the Hyperion Max, but take a look at these two uppers here. So these are both $180. This Brooks shoe, and by the way, I bought them both with my own money, so just get that out of the way here. But the Brooks shoe, it looks so much better. The upper feels so much better. It's just look at the Mizuno one here. Look how the material is bunching up. It looks sloppy. It looks like a prototype and not like the Alpha Fly 3 orange colorway prototype. Looks like an unfinished shoe. And I do think the second version of the shoe is going to be a lot better, but it is decently lightweight. We'll throw it on the scale. The reason I brought it out here is because a lot of you guys like it, but for me, the package did not come together the way I was expecting, and partially that's on me because I thought this was going to be more of a comfort cruiser, similar to the Balos, similar to even Skyward X, but it was a little bit more, I don't know, punishing at slower paces. And some of you guys told me, well, you need to run faster in the shoe for it to work. And for me, at $180 or with this much foam being a softer shoe, that's a little bit confusing to me. Now, Hyperion Max 2 is the same price, but this looks like it's going to be a fast shoe. And I even did criticize this a little bit for not being that versatile. So this one did not feel great at slower paces, which was confusing given the stack height, given everything that, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a nice cruiser, but I guess we'll have to do some more testing and see how it does at faster pace. But this is not a Mizuno Neo Vista second run review. We will get to that at some point, but I wanted to bring it out to highlight one of the top options that you guys have been liking. I think for me, it just doesn't work well with my foot strike, and it could be a little bit punishing for heel landing. Now, the last shoe I wanted to bring out here to compare to the Mach X is the New Balance Propel V5. So $120. This is positioned by New Balance as a daily trainer. You get a lot of good rubber coverage. It's going to be a little bit on the heavier side, but it also does have that plastic plate and a very soft and forgiving ride, even softer than the Mizuno Neo Vista, even more forgiving, maybe even a little faster feeling naturally at slower paces. It felt really bouncy. So this is one of the most surprising shoes I've run in. I also love this tropical smoothie colorway here. And for $120, if you want a shoe to run in every day that's fun, soft, and bouncy, there's no better shoe on the market than this guy. You also have the SL2 at $130. I think this is going to be a little bit better for beginners as well because you have the wider base. SL2 is a great shoe too, but you get the plastic plate here. So Hoka Mach X, this guy's in a tough category. We also have the Speed 3, the Tier Valkyrie Speedworks, other shoes like the Balos, SC Trainer that it's competing with. But I really want to frame the conversation today around how does it do with these existing top players? Is it going to be as versatile as a shoe like $120, like the Propel? Is it going to be as versatile as the Mach 6? Is it going to be as fast as the Hyperion Max? And can it also give us that classic Hoka comfort? So a few other things about the shoe. Nice padding around the back and the upper. Right now, I can tell you the upper is a lot better than what we get on the Neo Vista. Similar upper to what we get on the Hyperion Max here, but man, something they did with the Hyperion Max upper, whatever material they used is just elite. Best training upper of the year right here, no doubt. I've had good luck with the Hoka uppers. Hopefully this fits well. Then on the bottom here, decent rubber coverage, not the thickest layer in the front. My highest wear area tends to be around this back outside, the lateral side, and you can see they've wrapped the rubber here for good durability. So this should be a decently durable shoe. That is one of the main issues historically with the Hoka shoes, but I think this guy here with the firmer foam on the bottom and the rubber, we should be in business. But you guys know this year we're not getting a lot of shoes for 300 miles. By the way, let me know if there's one shoe you could see me take to 300 miles this year. Let me know below. I have a few ideas, but I want to hear from you. What do you want a 300-mile review on? We're cranking out the hundos, but let me know what you want to see 200 and 300 on. So with that, guys, let us pop the bang. Let us pop the Mach X on the scale. All right, guys, Mach X weigh-in. Moment of truth here, 286 grams. That is solid. A little bit heavier than the Boston 12. Let's see how it stacks up to some of these other shoes. And you guys have heard me talk about weight before, but I think especially for us runners who are a little bit taller, maybe a little bit stronger, converted athletes, a tiny bit a heavier shoe, especially if it's gonna give more cushion, protection, and support, like this guy, I don't mind it. And I think the benefit that I can get on a long run or when my legs are tired, like I got from the Skyward X, outweighs any of the weight penalty. And by the way, I didn't bring the Skyward X out here this morning, but that is Hoka's other plated training shoe. That one is more of that cushion bouncy cruiser. This one is a little bit more aligned to speed training. So Hyperion Max 2, does that make sense? Aligned to speed training? 275 grams, so a little bit lighter in the Hyperion Max 2, likely because in this foam here, or this midsole, you only have one foam, and it is Brooks race foam. It's not Piba, but it is Brooks's race foam. Let's take a look at the Mizuno Neo Vista. Bang, 282.5. Very similar to the Mach X, but you do get more foam in here, a lot more foam, both width-wise. Let's take a look at the width here. Yeah, wider base and taller. The upper here is probably my least favorite upper of the year on any shoe. I just do not like the way this looks or feels, but we will get some more miles in it. I don't even know why I brought it out today. I should have brought the Skyward X out, and I'm just getting annoyed. And then Propel, did I call this Propel V2? It's a Propel V5. 301.5 grams. You get lots of padding and comfort in the upper. This is almost a hybrid daily trainer slash lifestyle slash casual slash walking slash everything. This is really a do-it-all shoe for $120, similar to that SL2. Probably best value shoe on the market right now. This is a great shoe, and coming in at 300 grams, that's solid. That's standard. You're going to get a lot of rubber. Not a bad weight for a daily trainer. And then let's pop on the Mach 6, one last little guy here. Very light shoe, 235 grams. So the difference mainly between these two shoes here is the amount of support that you get. So two totally different foams. The Mach 6 has what's called a supercritical EVA. 100% of it, it's a training foam that's been injected with gas to make it lighter and bouncier. So the Mach 6 or Mach X does also have that same EVA on the bottom, but it's not gone through that supercritical process. So it's a little firmer, a little bit more rigid, a little bit more structured. And then you have the plastic plate, of course, to add that stability, plus the race foam on top. So I'm really curious, does the Mach X still have a place with the Mach 6 and Skyward X? I'm sure you could build a rotation, a great rotation, just Mach 6 and Skyward X. Who is the Mach X going to be best for? Hopefully we can answer that today. But just from the vibe of it, it reminds me a little bit more of a built-up Mach 5, which I loved. And they've gotten away a tiny bit from that feeling with the Mach 6. So with that, guys, let's lace up the Mach X and do a little fit and feel test, and we can get some miles in. Of course, I forgot to do the QA check. Hold on. All right. Mach X left side, 286.5. Boom. Boom. Look at this. 286.5. 286.5. Hoka said, put some respect on our QA. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, they came through with the equally weighted shoes, bro. Look at that. Look at that. Look at us. I never thought we'd be here, Hoka. I never thought we'd be here with shoes that weighed the same. Hopefully they fit the same, too, unlike the Mach 6. Bang. Kobe. Bro, I don't know what it is today, but these mosquitoes are getting feisty. Absolutely feisty. It's like a Golden Star China buffet right now on my legs. It's preposterous. That's the word of the day, bro. They were getting disrespectful last week. That was the word. Now it's preposterous. This is a preposterous situation. All right. So stepping in to the Mach X here. Let's see. Lengthwise, it's good. Feels a little bit, maybe a little bit shallow, a little bit narrow, similar to that Mach 5. But man, this is another good upper. This is another, I love when I slip my foot into a shoe and it just feels nice. I said that in the Belos video yesterday. I said, this is a nice upper. And then as I was rewatching it, when I was editing, I said that was some really low quality, low effort, trash analysis. But now that I'm rethinking it, some uppers just do feel nice. And it does feel nice sometimes to just slip your foot into a nice feeling shoe. And if you're gonna pay more than $160 for a shoe, or even more than $140 for a shoe, because that's the market price for a standard shoe, it should feel nice. And one of the elements of this shoe that's doing it is these laces, they have a slight elasticity to them, which is kind of cool. And I know Hoka got chastised for putting weird laces on the Cielo X1, but they put kind of weird laces on here and they work. So overall, let's do a little fit check. Heel width is good, foot width is good, maybe a touch narrow, and the forefoot length is good. So I think that's really going to be the key here. It's a bit narrow in the forefoot. Lengthwise, we're okay in our standard 10.5. And then let's do a feel check. Let's do a little bit of a walk here. We're a walk test, and then we got to run because I'm getting absolutely murked by these mosquitoes. It is not even funny. But walk test, yeah, again, this platform feels a little bit narrow. It feels narrower than some of those other shoes we've brought into the office recently. Let's see. Yeah, I can't quite tell. Maybe the Hyperion Max is a little bit wider, but you saw in the comparison to the Mizuno, it was a lot wider. The Neo Vista was a lot wider than this guy. And now walking here, I do think this is a shoe I could walk around in. It doesn't feel as comfortable as a Clifton, of course, on step-in. It doesn't feel as comfortable as a Ghost Max, but it's not uncomfortable. If someone were to buy this shoe to be their do-it-all exercise shoe and do walking and running, I think they'd be perfectly fine with it. I know a lot of people also get this as a, oh my gosh, I'm getting destroyed. I know a lot of people also get this as a half marathon shoe for a race shoe. I could also see how that would work well. But yeah, this really does have some nice spring and bounce to it. And I think the rocker here is going to add a lot. So I am getting a smoothness, nice smoothness here. I don't think this is going to be aggressive. That's my hope, is that it's not too aggressive, because that was my issue with the Hyperion Max 2. It was great, but very aggressive. I cannot run slow in that shoe. I'm hoping this is a little bit more versatile. Still has that fun and speed, but allows us to run slower, because I couldn't run slow in that shoe. So with that, guys, plan for the run. We are going to get in 8 miles, nice smooth pace, probably hanging in around 7s, and potentially throw in some strides at the end. But I want to see how this shoe does for about an hour-long run, test the bounce, test the smoothness, test the comfort, and then we can come back here and do the breakdown. Let's get into it. All right, early overreaction here, 30 seconds in to the Mach X. This is extremely easy to run in. Oh my goodness. So that was one of the things that I liked about the Clifton for running and for walking, but it felt like I was riding on top of a cloud. Not necessarily the softness, but just completely protected from the ground, and a little bit of a stiffer platform. Oh my goodness. Dude, toad alert. That's a legit toad. That's crazy. This has that same smoothness as the Clifton and feels very different so far from both the Mach 6 and the Skyward X. Both of those shoes have a more aggressive bounce. As I was hoping for, this shoe does not feel aggressive whatsoever. It also does not feel as dense as the Skyward X. Yeah, so far this was almost more of what I was hoping for from the Mizuno. Now this isn't as soft, but those qualities of easy to run in, nice smooth roll, a little bit of assistance to push me along, that's what I'm getting here. So far, man, dual foam is undefeated. If Mizuno put dual foam in the Neo Vista, maybe we would have liked it more. Man, the cicadas are out today. Our backyard was like one of the 7 plagues on Saturday. They were just completely swarming. It was disgusting. So a little leg check here on our first straightaway. I'm definitely not feeling the freshest. I don't think I'm gonna be putting down any 620s or 630s today.
but maybe we'll get a 650, do a little sub 3 pace test. And yeah, as I pick it up a little bit here, the bounce off the forefoot is really nice. This has a really good do-it-all feel. That's the vibe I'm getting. And that's what I want out of a shoe like this. But we're gonna ease into the run. See you in a bit for the mile 1 update. All right, guys, that was mile 1. So far, it's comfortable, smooth, slight bounce to it. The stability is decent, even though it is narrower. And I can feel that it's a little bit narrower than some of the shoes that have been releasing in 2024. But that's not a bad thing, because we get a more streamlined feel to it. Now, in terms of the geometry, so far, way less aggressive than the Hyperion Max. But at the same time, so that first mile was a 750. I do feel like it wants me to run a little bit faster. So I'm gonna try to pick up the pace just a touch, maybe on this next mile, and see how it responds. And even here, as I open it up a little bit more, and you can hear that PIBA compress. We get some nice bounce. But yeah, so far versus the category, the smoothness and the comfort is what I'm getting out of this shoe relative to its peers. So similar to the Balos that we ran in yesterday, and this is a little bit cheaper, this feels more like an elevated daily trainer than it does like a true speed training masher. And as I think about the key benefits of this category of shoes, it's impact protection, speed assistance, and fun. And so far, this has all of those. This is the type of shoe that I would want to use to chew up a ton of mileage. A do-it-all shoe, way more streamlined than the Skyward X, which is a similar feeling, but you gotta be putting down some more power to get the benefit, given the heavy weight there. So this one is definitely not gonna be the fastest out of the bunch, but potentially one of the best for everyday miles. All right, that was mile 2, 7:43. And so far, man, the comfort and leg saving capabilities are the biggest surprises here. I know Hoka has a lot of comfortable shoes, but I wasn't expecting this much comfort in a plated shoe. So I think this might be, for me, if I were to build a rotation with this, with my paces, this might become my relaxed long run shoe, recovery shoe. And I know it's weird to say a shoe with race foam and a plate, even a plastic plate, is a recovery shoe, but that's the definite vibe of this, given everything else. And especially because the Mach 6 is so great for faster running. So far, that has a speedier feel to it than this. This is just a cruiser, and I am loving it. This is my type of shoe. This is a Zone 2 champion. Put that on a t-shirt. I actually think a better t-shirt would be Zone 2 Hero. That would be a fire shirt. Supple certified. Bro, so I'm going on a business trip this week, and Mason, my 5-year-old daughter, she said, don't forget the scale. That's how you know it's deep. Don't forget the scale. Out here putting in work, weighing shoes. Let them know, Mace. Let them know. The first run of the day is so much easier than the second run. It's just one of the laws of hobby jogger physics. First run is always easier. And it also helps when you had homemade waffles right beforehand. Shout out to Charles. I forgot to talk about that earlier, so here you go. I'll throw that right there. Homemade waffles.
Alright guys, look at this. I don't even know what video we're doing today. It's gonna be fire, whatever it is, but look at this. Homemade waffles for breakfast? Absolute fire. Unsolicited waffles, she says. Boom. Thank you, Charles. Look at that. Supple kitchen. Bang.
Alright, we're about halfway through now. A little over 4 miles. And even at this distance, this is where I'm seeing the benefits of the Skyward X over this. The transition on that shoe, especially for heel striking, is a little smoother, a little faster. And I think because that one has the supercritical EVA, bouncier, lighter, softer, versus the standard EVA, makes a less sluggish feel. However, when I'm forefoot striking on this shoe, and getting more of that PIBA, similar to the Boston 12, comes alive a bit more. So we got a few more miles out in the heat here. Let you know if we have any other updates. If not, see you back at the market. Would you look who it is up there? All right, mile 6, 7:32. And we got the Wham fam pulling up. So, mile 7, I'm about to get crushed. We have the water. Oh my gosh. Charlotte water. And then Waste Pro. Everybody's putting in work in the big trucks. Reevesy would have loved that one. How'd you get crushed? Now that's a max cushion cruiser if I've ever seen one. You already know what it is, man. This video is brought to you by Waste Pro. As all my friends out in the UK would say, there's a lot of waste men out here. Waste men ting. A lot of waste men. You guys need to get up out of that office, stretch your legs, get some vitamin D. It's summertime in the Northern Hemisphere, man. A lot of waste men staying indoors. Get outside. Get outside. Get some sun rays on that face. You could use it. Woo! All right, throwing in some strides. We just hit 5:28 pace. These things are coming alive for me at sub 6 minutes. Still comfortable, still has that gliding feeling. But man, it's like a Clifton you can run fast in. Right on top of that platform. Completely takes any of the impact off my legs, and I'm just bouncing right along. Nowhere near as bouncy or aggressive as the Skyward, but the comfort quotient here is top notch. Trigger warning, UPS. Good job, you. How many miles do you got?
I don't know.
Yeah, you look fire. Look like you should be in a summer town. Oh, we got the truck show and everything for Reevesy. Look at that, whole family getting blessed. I'm out here getting miles. Mace is on the bike. Reevesy. Oh, I told you guys, Waste Pro is always putting in work for the people. Look at that.
Holy cow, guys. Someone wanted a trigger warning for the socks last time. Look at me just dripping and pooling right here. The amount of sweat I have just for an 8-mile run with most of it at a relaxed pace. Oh my goodness. This looks like a crime scene. Jeez, we gotta stay on top of hydration today. So my favorites are these 48-ounce Nalgene's. I'm actually thinking of, so we're doing a full merch run soon. Stay tuned. I know everyone wants the Hobby Jogger hats, the Carbon County sweatshirts. Stay tuned. We are going to do a full merch run. And I'm thinking of doing some Nalgene's in there as well, because it's summer. And even if it's not summer, we got to hydrate. But for now, if you want to support us, go grab some electrolytes. I'll put my top electrolytes below. I keep forgetting that I have this Running Warehouse partnership. And you guys can buy the stuff you already buy through my links to help support the channel. And I've been saying for a long time, I don't want the only way you can support this channel to be buying new shoes through Running Warehouse. So now I'm going to start highlighting the products I use. So I'll put down my favorite summer running socks and all my electrolytes, and it really looks like I just got out of Lake Wobegon here. This is absolutely repulsive. So yeah, we're going to do a little bit of rehydration, but we got, boom, let's see, 8 miles, 7:37 pace, 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 37 seconds. I don't even know if I want to sit down here in my own sweat. This is little wet weather grip test just in my sweat. Holy cow. I'm sorry. Trigger warning. Sweat trigger warning. You guys hear that? Yeah, I'm not sitting down. I'm just gonna pop these right off, and then we can get into the breakdown. But man, this is a way more versatile shoe than a lot of the ones we've been running in recently. I think that's one of the issues with the way the market is moving and how we have so many plated training shoes now. Because if you think about when this came out, was it summer 2023? Yeah, last year. There weren't as many options now. The Speedworks wasn't out, the Neo Vista wasn't out, the Hyperion Max 2 plated wasn't out. There weren't as many plastic plated options, and so I think Hoka was able to take a little bit more of a versatile do-it-all approach. And it seems now, with every new shoe coming out that has a plate in it, these brands are realizing they need to carve out a niche, which is a good thing. And you guys know I like to find that one or two things, one thing that each shoe is best for. And these more specialized shoes can do that easily. But it is also nice having a versatile cruiser like this guy. And before we go down there, I did want to give a shout out to the 860 because it was just sitting here in the magic bag. But the Mach X reminded me a little bit of the 860. This is probably my favorite daily trainer of the year. And it's a similar construction to the Mach X. You have the softer foam on the top, firmer foam on the bottom, with a plastic plate. I mean, look at them from the inside here. Let's even get a little better angle here, but look at the inside of the Mach X versus the Fresh Foam 860. Same exact construction. Firm on the bottom, plastic plate in the middle, race foam on top. And the Mach X rode pretty similarly to the 860 in terms of the comfort, the smoothness, the roll through, and the cushion. The Mach X feels maybe a tiny bit more cushioned in the forefoot, and of course has more pop from the race foam, but similar thing here in the 860, which is being billed as a stability shoe, but it's just as good as any neutral shoe, if not better. And it's only $140. So big shout out to the 860. I'll put the link to this below as well. Everyone who I've recommended it to, who's tried it, has loved it. So 860, sleeper pick for Daily Trainer of the Year. Let's go do this breakdown, man. I'm not even going to towel off. We're just going to get it in wet breakdown. All right, guys, 8 miles in the Mach X this morning. I am dripping wet out here. Remember to get your electrolytes in, get your hydration. I'm actually going to do that right now because I have not done it, and I said I would. Yesterday I ran 20 miles, and I was not on top of my hydration, and I still got through that second run of the day, the 8 miler, and it wasn't too bad in the run. You heard me complaining that I wanted a raspberry and almond butter smoothie, but it was the after the run recovery because I didn't immediately go in and get the water and get the electrolytes. That was hard. So you don't want to be dehydrated for the rest of the day because you got your awesome morning miles in, because the purpose of getting these morning miles in is that it sets us up for a great rest of the day. So I'm going to do my best chugging. Let's see. We're at 28 ounces now. Let me see if I can get it down to 16 at least. Not bad. Not bad. And I know someone out there is going to say, did you know that's not the best way to rehydrate? You got to do 4 ounces out of 67. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the water in. We get the miles in, we get the water in, and we run in the Hoka Mach X. So Mach X2 coming out soon. Mach X1, the OG here. How does it ride? Very smooth, very versatile, very not aggressive. Feeling that water now. That was one of the best qualities of the shoe, and a big surprise given Neo Vista, Hyperion Max 2, even DV8 Nitro 3. A lot of these shoes that are coming out now feel more aggressive. They have a little bit more of that race tuning in them, and that's how this category started, with the Saucony Endorphin Speed being that hybrid racing training shoe. But this still does have a little bit more of that training everyday run feel, similar to the Balos, similar to the 860, similar to a lot of the shoes that I love, similar to the Skyward X, where there's a bit more of that comfort quotient versus the speed quotient. So the whole purpose of this category, adding a plate and a race foam into a training shoe, is to blend both speed and comfort. This does it really well, leaning a little bit more to that comfort side. So 8 miles this morning, most of them at a relaxed pace. This felt great for 750 down to 730. I even think I could do some recovery pace miles in the 8s in this shoe, not punishing at all. And if you look at how much foam we have in the back here, it does make for okay landing. It's a fine, perfectly fine heel striking shoe. We still have that caboose. I think Hoka calls this the swallowtail technology, and the Solomon S-Lab Spectre completely stole this with the hoof here, but they had it on the Mach 5. They got rid of it on the Mach 6, and it's here on the Mach X. That adds a little bit more impact protection in the back here, impact absorption and protection in the back here, so that as you land on the heel, you get a nice roll through. And man, I have dirt from the sweat on my shoe. Kind of disgusting. But yeah, that's one of the elements that's adding to the comfort. The upper is very comfortable as well, and not too hot. I'm not gonna do the squishing of the socks because it's just kind of gross. We don't need that today, but it feels okay, much better than the Puma DV8 Nitro 3. I know Hoka is they're mainly based out in California now, so I'm sure they test these in the heat. I cannot say the same thing for the Puma because my feet were absolutely soaked. So that's Charlie in the mom wagon. Let's wait for her to pass. There she goes. So yeah, totally serviceable for summer running. And then the speed part of the shoe though, this race foam does activate for faster miles. So as I said, most of them at a 7-minute pace, but then I did throw some strides. So I did 6 reps of 15 to 30 seconds at a 5K or 1 mile, let's call it a 1 mile to 10K race pace. So for me, anywhere from a 4:30 per mile to a 5:50 per mile, I'll generally try to get down to for my strides. So some of them were around 5:30, some of them around 5:40, some of them around 4:40, and it felt great. The shoe really came alive for those strides, which was one of the biggest surprises because for most of the run, I was getting that smoothness, I was getting that cushion. Not necessarily a super soft shoe like a Balos or a 1080 or I'm trying to think of other soft shoe or what's some other soft shoe? Those are probably the two softest shoes. More V5, not as soft as those, but still comfortable. So the surprise was how proficient it was at faster miles. Now, as I was saying up there, as soon as we finished the run, the way the market looks right now, every shoe is so specialized towards one thing. And recently I've really been trying to find these versatile shoes that can do a lot. That's why I love the 860. Waist Pro. As I was saying, that's why I love the 860. That's why I love the SL2. They're comfortable and they can do a lot. And the Mach X is slotting into that category for me so far. Comfortable, cushioned, felt just as good at 750 pace as it did at 550 pace. And I didn't even feel like I was maxing it out. On the last stride here, I threw down a 440, a little bit of a downhill, but still 4-minute pace down the hill here. And the shoe felt like it still had some more gears to go through. So I could probably run a 10K all out in this and feel fine, a 5K all out in this and still feel fine, but it retains some of that comfort. So compared to everything else in the category, let's go through those 3 questions we love to answer. How does this shoe do versus its intended purpose? We addressed that one already. Nice blend of comfort and speed, definitely leans more towards comfort. Now, how does it do versus everything else in the category? This is gonna be more of that smooth, cushioned cruiser pick. And this is where I'd say if you're looking for that fast, aggressive feel for marathon training, maybe for track days or even for long runs with marathon pace and you're trying to go sub 3 or faster, you might want something with a little bit more of an aggressive feel. This does not have an aggressive feel at all. The Hyperion Max is more aggressive than this. The DV8 Nitro 3 is more aggressive than this. The Neo Vista might even feel more aggressive than this because it punishes the heel striking and it has more of that curved rocker. This has a way more gentle, relaxed feel, which I really love, especially because my legs were feeling beat up today. So if you do want more of that protective feel versus aggressive, that's what you are gonna be getting here. So I would still advocate, man, the Hyperion Max 2, that's been my biggest surprise out of this latest crop of shoes, how much I enjoyed running fast in that. This is not gonna beat the Hyperion Max 2 for faster running, but if I had to choose one of those for an everyday shoe to do it all for relaxed miles, I could totally do this one. And with the plastic plate in here, I wasn't feeling any weirdness with the plate. That could be the downside sometimes. Even with the Skyward X, there's weirdness given how tall it is. So this is still in the zone of stack, of feeling with the foam where I could totally use it as a daily shoe and not feel like I was messing up with my mechanics too much. Now, it doesn't have any connection to the ground. There's absolutely no ground feel in here, which is nice. It's not gonna bottom out. We still have to do a double test or double day test, or at least get this up to 12, 13, 14 miles, but no bottoming out here. Absolutely no aggression whatsoever. And then the last question answered with this, how does it do versus everything else on the market? And I think that's probably where it falls down a little bit, given the price. I think it's what is it? Let me check real quick. Yeah, so I thought it was 170. I thought the Hyperion Max was 170 as well, but that's 180. I bought that one for 180. I bought the Neo Vista for 180. This is also 180. And thankfully Hoka sent it to me, so I didn't have to pay another $180 out of pocket. I'm very appreciative of that. But man, for $180, given my first ride experience with this, I think for the Mach, for what you're getting out of this, right? Smooth, cushion, a little bit of speed capability. For most people, if you're not going over an hour for most runs, the Mach 6 is gonna give you 90 to 95% of what you're getting here, so I would go for that. And then if you want something just a little bit less fun, a little bit less exciting, but still smooth, cushion, and stable, the New Balance 860 V14 can do that as well. So who should get this shoe? I wanna do one or two more workouts to round out my thoughts on this before the Mach X2 comes, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what comparisons you wanna see, but as of now, much smoother, more comfortable cushion than anything else out there, and especially if you like Hoka as a brand, you're gonna be paying probably a $10 to $20 premium on this guy. But I have to say, I like this way more than the Speed 4, more comfortable than the Boston 12. There's nothing bad about this shoe. There's nothing objectionable about this shoe. And I think if you're looking for a do-it-all type of shoe that leans comfortable, this is a really good pick for marathon training. And that's where you're gonna get the benefit here. That's where the extra $20 versus the DV8 Nitro 3 comes through. This is gonna be a more comfortable pick. Now, of course, people are gonna say it has the standard EVA, it has the plastic plate versus the carbon plate, and it's not as fast, but for some people, that might be nice. If you don't want that aggression and you don't mind paying a little bit extra, that's where this comes into play. There's no teeth. There are no teeth at all on this thing. This is like a neutered golden retriever, right? It's fast, it's energetic, it's running around, but there's no real aggression to it. It's a puppy dog. It's a nice, fun shoe to put on and run some relaxed miles in, or to run some fast miles in. Again, I threw down some 440, 530 pace, and it felt great. So overall, nice smooth cushion shoe. $180 for me feels a little bit steep, but if you like Hoka, or if you want a comfortable do-it-all shoe, that would be this guy. Quick comparison, I do want to compare it to the Balos. So yesterday we ran in the Balos, and I had similar thoughts about smooth, cushioned, fun, do it all. This is less bouncy, but way more stable. So if you need any stability and you don't like super soft, I would go for this guy. Balos is a lot softer, also $20 more expensive. So with that, guys, that is the Hoka Mach X. Let me know what thoughts you have on it, and thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. All right, so one more thing, guys. Look at this. Look at this. So one of my friends on Instagram, he just sent me this. He got the Elite 2 from Saucony, Endorphin Elite 2. And look at how the box showed up to his house. A $300 ratio. I'm guessing they just sent it in some sort of an envelope situation. I have no idea, but look at that. That's how the box showed up to his house. That is absolutely disrespectful. $300 shoe. And man, these brands need to be held to account. And I guarantee you, when the shoe starts showing up to all the influencers who receive it, and I don't have a PR relationship with these guys, and I'm not an influencer. I've said this before. I'm not an influencer. But I guarantee you, when the shoe starts showing up to the people who got it, it's going to have magnetic sassafras mercury box. It's going to be 3 feet wide with a hammer in there that you got to break it open. There's going to be liquid nitrogen coming out. And then the regular people who actually spend the $300, complete disrespect. Complete disrespect. What is this, Saucony? What is this? What are you doing? What are you doing? Also, man, the upper on this just looks so weird. But the box, come on, Saucony. You gotta, the people are the ones who pay for the shoes. It's disrespectful. This is absolutely disgraceful. Man, Saucony. Get out of here.